People of the Purple Butterfly here, otherwise known as People7 on Twitter and YouTube, People elsewhere on the internet. My soaps located at PurpleButterfly-soaps.myshopify.com, my blog, PurpleButterfly-people.blogspot.com. And today I'm going to make a soap called Magnolia In Bloom. It's a floral. It smells slightly different than magnolia. This smells like magnolia and leaves, so hence the bloom part, I guess. It's going to be pink and white. I'm going to attempt to do a feather swirl, or actually a secret feather swirl, which means the entire feather design will be completely encased within the soap itself, and I won't know if it's a successful feather swirl until I actually cut it. So let's get that started. First, I'm going to mix my colors. Man, this smells great. I made the oil mixture in the lye water a couple of hours ago. So, yeah. I'm just gonna hold on to this and pour a little of the oil in there. That should be enough. Because you don't want to just plop mica into a container. Mica is a very fine powder. It will go right in your face. So you put oil or water in there to soften the blow, but mica dissolves completely in oil, not so much in water. It's like titanium dioxide is either water soluble or oil dispersible, depending on what type you have. And I like the oil dispersible. But I have the titanium dioxide from Nature's Garden, which is oil and water dispersible, which means I could use it either way. In other words, it has a equal mix of the minerals. That's how they get the oil soluble, the oil dispersible and the water soluble is how much of the mineral it has in it. So that's how they choose which it'll be. That has an equal proportion. So basically, it's been my experience, it just works better with oil. But there will be some people that will prefer water. It's a personal choice, basically. So I'm going to tap the mica into the oil and then give it a stir. Usually after I do that, I let it settle for a while so that way any pockets that didn't get dissolved will. Look at this color. Isn't that pretty? This is Cotton Candy Pink. I don't know how bright that's going to be in the soap. I did put 2 scoops in there instead of 1. So it should be a little brighter than the muted tone that I got going on here. But I figure, hold on. I figure it's about that color. So, yeah. Because I'm going for a flower, kind of. The feather swirl basically looks kind of like a feather when you're done. but I'm going to spread mine out a little so that way it kind of looks like a tree. So, yeah. That's my thoughts. That's not necessarily what's going to happen. Okay. I have my hanger tool in here at an angle. I figure that way when I pour everything, then I can move it to the middle and then pull it straight up, and that should give me my feather swirl. A lot of people will say you go down with the feather, pull it to the side, and then up the side, but to me that's backwards. If I'm going to pull it up the side anyway, why don't I just start with it at the side, pull it up through the middle, and call it done. That way I don't get too many drags. Because a draggy feather swirl could be problematic when, you know, you want the entire gist of the swirl in the center of the soap. So then if you drag it on the side, then you're going to get a random pop of color where you don't want it. So that's my thinking on that. This is too loose. Hold on. There. So I got that nice and centered. The scent is already in here. This is my Canco batch. It's canola oil and coconut oil in the proportion that I like. So has been very successful lately. You know, it's like it's not too hard, it's not too soft, and then after you cut it, it develops into a very, very hard bar. So that's the shall we say percentages of coconut to canola oil that makes me happy. Okay. And yes, I know I'm not wearing sleeves, but yeah. From what I understand, this scent does not accelerate and it does not rise. It's supposed to be a perfect pour, but we're about to find out. Now, supposedly you take 1/3 of your mixture, and that's the center, and the other 2/3 is the color. But yeah, I'm gonna do it slightly different. Oh yeah, I can't do that until I do this part. So hold on. So I don't want the pink to be too light. Not quite there yet. into my stick blender. It's almost at emulsion. I do see oil on top, so I know it's not quite at emulsion yet. Yeah, there we go. Nothing separated. We have emulsion. So now, I'm going to pour a little in here. That should be about a third. If not, it's going to be a short feather. But we're not going to worry about it. We just going to do what we do and see how well this swirl comes out. If it comes out the way I expect it to, then I will be repeating this. And if not, hey, I gave it a good try. In the meantime, I need that scoop back. Or a different scoop altogether. Yes. So otherwise it's going to be yellow and pink instead of pink and white. There we go. That'll give me a very white base. Before I do that, let me go ahead I do want that slightly thick. That's a medium thick trace. Now let's get some of my titanium dioxide clumped. So let's make sure that's all blended in. Now I have a very pale pink to white. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go by the rule of thirds anyway and pour the white into these two modes, pictures. So that way it'll just be easier to pour, because this one is full, it's actually very heavy. So I'm just gonna pour some in this one and some in this one. And since I have some left, that will be the base. And since this is a design I've never made before, I'm winging it. And I will be taking notes on how it came out, if it's the perfect pour, so forth and so on, so that way if I make it again, I know exactly what to expect. Now let's see something. Yeah, that should work. Okay. Now in the meantime, squeeze bottle to get this effect. I don't have a squeeze bottle, and I've had bad experiences with squeeze bottles, so I'm going to go for a funnel And I think I'm going to pour some of this in here. That way it's primarily equal amounts. Trying to get that trace equal. One is thicker than the other. That is thickened up nicely. So, oh wait a minute, I need a thicker spatula. Because part of it's going to have to spread out while I'm pouring. You start out with a straight line, but you end up with a splayed kind of thing when the one color hits the other and spreads it out. Oh, well, first, let's get rid of these purples. And I think I'm going to just move this all out of my way, which might be easier if I move this. First layer of pink on. That's too loose. It went straight down. So we need to thicken these both up. I'll start with the white. Got a splash. Let me neutralize. And that's why you always wear sleeves. I get to smell like an Easter egg. Okie dokie. Now, that's going to make my pink a little lighter, but rather a light pink than a ruined pour. Again. But now we're starting with this color because we have to break the fall of that pink. Okay. Now we're going to take this, do the same thing. Should be thick enough. And then we're going to do the same thing. Right through the middle, which splays out the previous color. So what's happening is the pink went like this. The white went through the middle. The next color pink went through on the top of the same spot, which made it so instead of like this, now it's like this. So then when I put the hanger tool through or pull it up, it'll make like fingers of color connected in the center, which you give a feather effect. Like I said, I've never done this particular swirl before, so I'm winging it. And I need to put some of this color on both sides. And it's starting to thicken up on me. But it's all good. Let's try this again. It's thick enough where I could just kind of pour on top and nothing is happening. So I know what that means. That means this all needs to go into the other pot. And I just dragged some of the pink, so those could be little tendrils of the tree or feather. I know what I mean. The flower effect I'm going for, basically. Okay. Oh, Don't you hate when your camera turns off when you're in the middle of doing stuff? Ugh, that's annoying. But anyway, it means it's time to clear out the memory. Well, that's thick enough where I don't have to use the spatula to soften the fall. So we'll just go ahead and pour. Although pouring it slowly might have been a better effect. Okay. Come on, you can do it. Go. No, you're just trying to be stubborn, huh? That's okay. Oh, wait a minute, I'm still on this. Hold on. That's better. Yeah. Part of the feather is not connected, so let's try to get the pink in that spot. There we go. The rest I'll try to save for scraping and putting a design on top. And now I could just basically fill up the sides. Which is supposed to cover the whole thing up. But it's thickening up, so it didn't do that. So we'll help it out. It's getting super thick, super fast. But that's okay. As long as we get everything covered. And I see a couple of areas where the white is not covering up the pink. So that's where I'm going to aim this. Yeah. And right there. Very lightly scoot that to the areas as needed. Now comes the magic. I'll put this right here. I'm going to turn it this way so you can see. Hopefully. That's what we have so far. Okay, now I'm going to take the tool lean it forward, and then pull it straight through. And that's the whole swirl. And then these extra colors are going to be flower blossoms on the top, if that makes sense. Hold on. I don't know why I keep scooting that chair right literally in my way, but yeah, I do that a lot. Okay. Now we have that going on. And after I change my gloves, I'm going to do the same speckle effect with the rest of the color. And then give it like a little swirl on top. I hate when my hands are sweaty and just kind of stick to the gloves. But hey, happens. I might have to rethink this ring while I'm soaping, because the raised rock tends to compromise. Okay, let's get all that in there. I must say though, this does smell amazing. Okay, now we're going for the leftover bits of pink, which is darker than the pink that I originally scraped in there, because that had white mixed in it. So yeah. This is going to be another time where I'm going to have to scrub the entire mold to get all the soap remnants off of it. But that's okay. I've been doing that to this wooden mold for years, and it still has held up. Yeah. I don't actually think I can get that mold cleaner than that, but I gonna try. And then we do the same thing with this side. I'm done because my back is starting to get tight. And I already know when the bottom half of my right side feels this way, I'm going to fall if I don't sit down soon. So we're just going to call this done. And now the pink and the white can blend in on the top if it wants to. Scrape all the extra. And tap it on in. Oh, there's some that fell on the side there. Okay. Alrighty then. Chopstick right there. This is what I have now. First thing I'm going to do is edge it. And then I'm going to put a couple of little loop-de-loops in different places. So hopefully it'll look like a flower when it's done. There we go. There's a couple of bubbles. Now this is something I don't do often. But I'm going to show you just in case you happen to have a soap this thick that needs to be slammed hard. Put your top over it, then slam it. That way if there's any splash, it's contained. It doesn't splash in your face. Because the last thing we want is soap to splash in our face. Oh, that looks lovely now. Check this out. And I'm going to call that done. Well, I got soap on my hands. This has been People7 on Twitter and YouTube, People elsewhere on the internet. My soaps located at PurpleButterfly-Soaps.myshopify.com. My blog, PurpleButterfly-People.blogspot.com. Y'all stay blessed, stay tuned. That's Magnolia in Bloom. It's a secret feather swirl. And I'll find out if it actually looks like a feather tomorrow when I cut it. But in the meantime, I'm going to put a blanket over it and put it to sleep. This has been People. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bye now. Oh, I really should have used gloved hands. This is Magnolia in Bloom. I'll see what it looks like in the morning. Let's go to sleep now.